I want to talk about something that I think many of us have a fear to talk about is when we're involved with an addiction or some type of issue, we just want to always tell people we're okay. You know, we've recovered, we're through this, we're doing fine. And that's not the case all the time. The last couple of months, I talked about earlier about having situations with my mom and all these things going on. My sex addiction started to rear its ugly head. Now, I don't mean I acted out sexually, but reaching out to people, different websites, different apps, and just occupying my time and trying to prove to myself. And it's easy, it's fun, there's nothing wrong with it. But then I realized it took hours out of my day. You know, I communicate with people. It was fun, you know, talk about what I like, what they like, everybody's good. But then I always would just cancel. I would just say, look, something came up or what have you. But what I did is I caught myself doing what I've done in the past, whether it's out of loneliness, which is part of it, whether it's out of control issues, which is another part of it, whether it's out of I don't give a shit, that's another part of it, because I like my life. I like how I live. But I let something that wasn't good and healthy for me creep back in. And I sat back and I thought about, okay, what is it? I think many of us who deal with any addiction, especially sex addiction, we'll stick with that, or love addiction, it's that high thinking, oh my God, even though that person's a stranger, they're attracted to me. Well, when you meet them online and you meet them on different apps, they're not attracted to you, they're attracted to basically the money. Then you might meet them and it might change. But when you have to think about that, then I realized to myself, shit, I'm paying people to be in my life. How fucking pathetic am I? Am I that fucking ugly? Am I that fucking pathetic? Am I that a human being that can't get anybody? But then I realized it's a choice that I've made, because I'm not paying you for sex, because shit, haven't had it in a long time and didn't do it because I'm very aware that it could turn into another obsession. But the last couple of months, I realized that, fuck, you know, so much, whether it was money, whether it was time, whether it was emotions, you know, getting this anticipation. And a lot of times when you meet people, they're going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, what you need, because they want something as well. And it really just struck a chord. This was all dealing with the last couple of months with my mom, and it hit me really hard with her. And but then I thought, okay, I can handle it. And just finally last week, I realized I couldn't handle it. It was ridiculous because there's nobody on the other end that knew anything about me. Nobody cared about me. It was that high. It was that fun. It was the excitement. But then again, I got off the apps. I got asked to leave some apps, all these different things. And then you sit there and you're like, well, fuck, what do I got? Do I need someone to validate me on a day-to-day basis? It's fun to have validation, but if it's with the right person, not strangers.